Hey guys, it's Adventure, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at an aerobatic aircraft, and one that's a little different to ones I've tried in the past, so not being a huge fan of aerobatics, I was willing to give it a try. Now for context, I was sent a copy of this by the developer Livtoair, and I wasn't given it conditions, so we'll see where we go. But as always, I like to tell you beforehand if I've been sent something so you know. Now, this is available on Sim Market, and it is presently for €19. So we expect a certain level of systems for that sort of price at this point. Now, this is the Sbach 342, or the XA42, which is a low-wing aerobatic plane, fixed conventional gear, tail wheel, and a carbon fibre fuselage. It's got a 315 horsepower Lycoming AEIO 580, 3-blade prop. And this is the tandem version, which is a two-seater version of the original S300 they make. And, oh sorry, the XtremeAir Sbach 300, I should say. Stopped being produced in 2021, but it comes with some interesting features. We've got liveries here, there's 5. Everything clicks and functions, apparently. There's a EFB in the aircraft. Top speed is about 225, it can cruise at 135. Stalls at 90. It's a pretty knife edge wing, short wings, thin wings for aerobatics, so it's going to fly and land fast. And it's got a G limit of 10, which is pretty crazy. Roll rate of 450 degrees a second, which should be rather quickie. So it's already had at least one patch to it, which fixed a canopy glass blur. And there's a news section on the EFB which tells you about updates coming out and about bugs that have been reported. So that's pretty useful. It was developed and programmed by Yaniv Nadel, which is the person who also did deliveries. Basically, he was the person that made this under the Livtoair brand. So let's take a look at this thing without further ado and see where we're going. So we'll start off inside this time because the EFB for me is a huge feature. Now, typical things we'd expect in the aircraft, we've got reasonably decent looking leather seat. Actually, I appreciate a bit of sustaining now and again. Carbon fibre type material on the interior, which looks decent enough. Circuit breakers do all function. Down here is your electronics, smoke, and nav lights. We've got battery, we've got fuel pumps, mags, radio, and transponder. Fuel tank, including an acrobatic fuel tank. So you can actually empty the wing tanks and just run the centre one, which is what we'll be doing. Throttles, prop mixture, we've got trim there as well. And here's the cool part, because we can turn on all these extra features. Let's go outside, shall we? And yes, that's a fuel truck, which does change livery with your aircraft livery. There's a car here, which admittedly has got some glitches going on. There's bits that are pink, which is model colour. It's kind of missing an inside of the chassis. But it's an extra add-on ground feature. It's not perfect, but it's not... it's an add-on feature. Oh wow, you can see the way through it. Fuel truck? Pretty solid. So there you go. And at least it's actually hooked up and the fuel is set to the tank, which is kind of a cool little feature there, especially for screenshots. Now, in terms of the aircraft itself, it's a carbon fibre aircraft. It's going to be a very smooth result to the actual exterior finishing. Not particularly complicated either. We just have chocks and covers and the usual accoutrements that we like to see from these kind of aircraft, which is nice. And hello, there we go. Honestly, looks more than good. Now, let's go back inside, shall we? So we can turn off these. I'm going to turn interior lights on, which will probably require me to put my battery on. And we'll quickly set it to night time. Take a look at this. Not that you're going to be regularly flying an aerobatics plane at night time, but you can, I suppose. Okay, that's kind of crunchy. That reflection is definitely interesting. Got the headlight in the cabin as well, which I'm pretty sure is what we're seeing there. That has a brightness setting you can select here. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. There appears to be more light in the front, but we've also got these LEDs here providing that. The instruments are at least lit up, which is really what you do want, but I'm not sure about the reflection on the windshield there. Or the canopy. That's a bit chunky. Stop clock here. Usual various features we'd expect from an aircraft. Oh, that functions. Cool. So what I like about this, though, is I'll turn that off. Cold, dark, and ready for takeoff. If you want that, it's not exactly complicated, but there you go. We have weight and balance where you can select a back seat and front seat pilot. Aerobatic mode, which has only fills the acrobatic tank. You can actually refuel, which will call a fuel truck for you, which actually makes that one appear. And we go into weather. It will show you the current weather and conditions. Checklists. Useful. GPS functionality, which is really useful to have. That's I really do like, and you can literally type things in, so set that. Oh no. Put it in this one. Does that work? I don't know. I don't know what it wants me to put in there, but there you go. Send the plane on the doodah. Make that go away. And we can zoom out. And it's supposed to be using Google Maps, which is kind of cool, comparatively. And we can switch it across to a white screen. Interesting. Probably hadn't loaded something, but of course, the start and stop the flight. How do I make this appear? Okay, it's giving me numbers. I'm probably doing something wrong there. Or it's put these in, which I'm assuming is taking the actual exact locations where you are currently to where you're going. And I'm pretty sure I need something in here, so let's go. Is altitude it wants? Oh, it's actually giving me the route. Cool. Okay. Fair enough, so we got that one right. Notes allows me to do anything I want to here, which is kind of cool. I can actually quickly make notes in essentially MS Paint. I like it. That's a silly feature, but fun. About gives us all the details of the developer, which is kind of cool. But this is the best part of this entire plane. And this plane's worth buying this for this alone. Cruising along at altitude. I can play Flappy Plane in my plane. I'm going to fail at that. No. I suck at this more than I suck at flying aeroplanes. There we go. Oh, I'm not good at this. Okay, you can play Flappy Plane in your plane. Like, what? What the heck? That's crazy. Yeah, so that is a feature. Let's get ourselves airborne and get going, shall we? Let's get the usual things set up. We've got our prop and mixture all set correctly. Our throttle is set here. And we're going to start the aircraft now. Switches down there, including fuel boost pumps. Clear prop. What did I not do? Why are you not starting? Did I drain the battery somehow? That could be a thing. Cold and dark. Okay, so let's set everything as it should be. Huh. Interesting. Did I pop a breaker and not actually realize I did it? Oh, yeah. I had the starter breaker pulled. That'll probably do it, because now it's quite quiet, the engine, compared to this. So either we're using sound cancelling headphones, or again, another developer's got a really quiet interior sound. But what I do like about this one is if we go outside, listen to that whistling as the prop chops the air. You don't tend to get that all the time with various aircraft, and I do like that sound. But it is extremely quiet, which is very unusual for me to really hear. Now, I haven't found a way to open the canopy, which is not great, but I like canopies that open. That's a personal feature. Let's take her for a spin, shall we, here? Let's turn my head on. Because this is what we really want to see with an aerobatic aircraft, is taking it for a spin. There we go. Turn her around here. And yeah, even with throttle up, my engine's very quiet, which is not what I'd expect of an aerobatic aircraft. We seem to get two types of releases in the flight sim world. It's either it's too quiet or it's too loud when it comes to sounds, which is really weird. Like, there's very few that kind of get that middle ground right and you have a decently loud engine. Some aircraft have started adding volume switches to please everybody, which I quite like. And with an EFB here, I think engine sound control wouldn't be a terrible idea. Now, from what I've seen, the developers are really passionate about updating this, and there have been updates already in a short time it's been out, so I don't see him not making changes. What those will be, I'm not entirely sure. Again, it's going to be interesting, but I like what this is so far. The best way to describe this is it has a lot of potential, is my best way of describing it. There are definitely rough edges. Some of the liveries have a little bit more pixelation than one I'd like to see due to the resolution and the size of them. In-sim performance is decent, but I just think there's some refinements and polishing to be done to various features. Now, in terms of a systems depth aerobatic aircraft, there aren't very many of those. In fact, let me go to the aerobatic tab on here. I can control my smoke color and starting and stopping that from the tablet, which is kind of cool. Like, this has got so many neat little features in there, along with the fact that you've got things like GPS and other systems you can utilize. So, of course, aerobatic, we have no flaps. We have got great big control surfaces, so we should be fine. With the power to weight ratio on this thing, it should be like a Formula 1 car. A little bit of a chunk there in the sim. Okay, let's go and make a mess. Oh, mother! Let's get off the ground before I... Oh, dear God. That's more me than the plane. Trust me, that's me, not the plane. That was pure incompetence on my part of a high-powered tail dragger. I'm not used to aerobatic aircraft in terms of how they fly. Okay, we're airborne. I'm going to pull back on there. Of course, in the prop a little bit. I can already tell it's super twitchy. Again, I'm in an Orbex Gaia Simulations airport, so there can be a little bit of performance change there. Not usually, but I'm hitting about 30 right now. I am on SIM Update 9, so obviously there'll be large performance increases with SIM Update 10. We've already seen that. And while I am running on Ultra and I have a powerful computer, some aircraft in some places sometimes chunk things a little bit. So let's... Whoa! My God, that's fast! That's faster than I can control it. Yeah, that holds up to 450 degrees a second. So I'm not sure what's causing the performance lag, because I'm getting choppiness in the sim. And I don't necessarily always. That's the weird thing. Like, I tend to get smooth performance. I'm not sure it's this, but it could be also the location. It's always one of those things to find out. You know what? We're going to pause here. I'm going to take us to a different airport and we're going to find out. Okay, so we're on the ground here at Orcas Island in America, which is my personal test airport that I like to use. We're going to go take off here again. Can I do it smoother this time? Yes, I can. Let's try and nudge myself back towards the centre of the runway. My rudder inputs are a little bit sharp for this, I think. That's me more than the aircraft. Much better. Okay, there we go. Much, much smoother. So there's definitely an element that it could well be the airport that was not playing fair with us there. I'm still getting a little bit of chop here. Now, again, I'm not sure. Some aircraft with certain functionalities do often cause performance increases and decreases. In some cases that can be location-based, in some cases it's literally systems-based. Often the more systems complex, the more they'll hit, but that's smoother. So I'm suspecting there's definitely an element of Austria wasn't particularly wanting to play nice. There you go. So that's much quicker and smoother for me. Let's go and give her a bit of a kick here. Could also be a memory leak in the tablet, but I don't know that. Who knows? There's a lot of different developers producing their own code for tablets. That's an in-house developed one by this particular developer. So there might be a leak somewhere. In fact, memory leaks are one of the most common software problems. It tends to be when you have a piece of code, it's not properly closing a function somewhere. Okay, let's go up, shall we? There we go, pull it out of that. Let's go for an inverted roll. Why not? I do like a good inverted roll. Pull the nose down. And we're going to go over the top. Backwards. Keep it straight. It's very snappy. If you like aerobatics in an aircraft that will perform that way, visibility is phenomenal. Aerobatic handling and behavior is great. I love this. How much can I take the mickey on this runway? Let's see what we can do here. We're going to come around, do a quick pass to the runway, then we'll come into land, which will be the interesting part for me. Let's not try and exert 10 Gs when I'm not wearing a G suit. Let's get her down here to the runway altitude before we do something incredibly brain dead. Oh, hi tree! Okay, that was off center. I'm very off center, and I climbed, which is not the smartest maneuver there. That's a tree. That's a tree. Keep straight, thank you. Yeah, that was scuffy. That wasn't even straight. That wasn't even straight. Let's go back. In fact, let's go out this way. We've got neutral winds right now, so we'll continue out. We'll flip around, and we'll put it in for landing. But I'm going to flip it around the aerobatic way, of course. Speed's good. Let's go for a more gentle roll this time. Power's out. We are way too high up for an approach here. Let's try and kill some of us. No, we're too close. We'll do a quick circle. I was thinking I'd flip it over, bring it down and put it in for landing, but I don't think aerobatics or aerodynamics wants me to actually do that. So we'll not for the moment. Again, engine sounds super quiet. That's my biggest gripe with the aircraft, is the engine sounds super quiet. But it should be louder. It just doesn't feel like it should sound this way. I might be entirely wrong, but it feels off. Okay, keep our speed up. We're at stall speed there. Oh, that's why my throttle was down. Unconventional approach is unconventional, but we should be able to make this in. I just have to remember to land at 90 knots, which is unusual for me in a plane this size. It glides incredibly well though, and I've got about 5 or 6 knots over stall speed. Just keep the nose up high, let it settle. Landing aerobatic aircraft is terrifying. I hate doing it because they are so finicky, the gear is so narrow, and they have no chill. It's like trying to land a Formula 1 car in a thunderstorm. As we managed it just about there. It was wavy, and it wasn't exactly precise, but it wasn't terrible. So do we have any other additional views? We have one that's sticking my head out there. We have one that's slightly lower. Got our preset views, of course. Which, in an aircraft where you're basically only ever looking forwards, it is fine. Now, with head tracking, of course, my head's going to move outside the canopy somewhat compared to, for example, hat switch. So if I was to do this with the hat switch, it's perfectly inside. But when I can do this with my head, sometimes it'll poke out. But that's more of my head moving up through the canopy sort of factor when I move my head around, rather than it being their fault. So, again, I have a really rough time when it comes to being an arsehole about an add-on. I don't want to be, because I don't think that's the kind of person I am. And I have reviewed planes that are considerably worse. Has this got room to improve? Yes, 100%. There's definitely things that I think could do with improving. However, there are no aerobatic aircraft in the sim so far that I would suggest meet this criteria. We have study level in terms of functionality, functional circuit breakers, a really decently well put together electronic flight bag that gives us tons of little options we might want to play with here, and some fun little features that also are different. Now, in terms of the flight model, feels great. It honestly flies incredibly well. We have something that's a two-seater. We have fun flying ability with it. It's a dynamic aircraft, and it's... yeah, okay, the livery sharpness could be improved. That is one thing I will say, yes, needs to be improved. Could be better. A lot better. Now, the sounds, I think, need to be louder. And there may be a memory leak somewhere in the tablet, because I believe the instruments there are stock. Tablet might hold the issue for that. Is it worth €19? Considering there's already been several updates so far, and the developers seems to be keen to continue doing that, I'd say yes, it is. If you like this kind of flying, it's a great aeroplane to go for, because it gives you way more than all the other offerings that are out there do, for a similar, if not same price. The candy features it comes with are wonderful, and it flies great. In terms of putting a smile on your face flying an aerobatic aircraft, it will do that for you. And I'm quite a fan of that. It's also very unique. Of course, you're flying from the back seat there with this one. You've got the passenger in front and below you, almost like a gunship cockpit. So, again, quite a twist there. I like this. I think it's got room to go somewhere. Hopefully there are updates as well. There's already been at least one, like I said. It's on the actual tablet. It shows you. There's bug reports there and the updates. So hopefully it continues to see updates and there's some improvements there. Like I said, I like to be honest. I like to be critical, but I like to be polite about it. That doesn't make me a shill. That just makes me a nice person. Draw your own conclusions. I would have actually been happy to pay money for this if I hadn't been sent a copy. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!